Good.
There we go. Let's get it to hi, Sean. What the hell is that echo?
Yeah, what was that?
It's coming from Nick's side.
Okay.
From my side?
Yep, because the first time it happened, it didn't happen until you came on the stream.
I don't hear it anymore.
Right here.
I heard it from my side
Do
too.
we need to turn it down some?
Okay, the fan's going now. You can't hear the fish tank. Can you hear the fan?
Not the fan, but I was able to hear the fish tank earlier.
Yeah, it's like always in videos now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just getting this thing
Is
shut.
that the way you use it up there?
So
Go away and do not speak to me. Do not speak to me.
I
Go.
think it was a perfectly good answer.
Go the fuck away.
It was a perfectly good answer.
Okay, so we're getting storm warnings, right? It's coming across my phone, and it's starting to get dark outside. The first time I didn't think anything about it. Second time, they're talking about hail. I'm paying attention.
All right. Hail?
Hail, damaging winds, 70-mile-an-hour winds. Okay, I'm paying attention. So I text him, and I said, "Are we in northwestern Weld?" And he goes, "Technically, we're in central, northwestern, west, or northern west." I said, "What the hell?" I said, "Northwestern's looking at hail." He said, we're maybe safe, kind of, possibly, almost maybe. But we could also be in little or a lot of trouble. I said, "Don't talk to me. I get better results with Google or Alexa."
Is that not a perfectly normal answer? I mean,
For what? Somebody without a brain?
I'm
I could.
walking away now.
That'd be a great idea. Should have walked away before I told the story.
Isn't it about 90 degrees there?
Yeah. Yeah. It was 93 today, I think.
And it's going to hail.
Mm-hmm. It was 80 something when it hailed last time, and we still had like what looked like snow on the roof when I woke up that morning.
Wow. Well, it's raining here right now, but not much.
I thought for a second the volume got somehow cut off because it just got so quiet for a few seconds.
Hi, Robert.
It's been sunny
No.
over. It's been sunny over here, although supposedly we're under a severe thunderstorm watch. But I don't think anything's going to happen because it goes till about 8 p.m., which is just like in and out, less than 45 minutes.
Well, ours is the same way, but you know what? Robert, he don't need help. He's going to get his butt kicked. He don't need help. I told him I like to speak to somebody who's coherent. I could text somebody in Canada and ask them about our weather and get a better answer.
Yeah, I was telling Jeremy this. I had to battle one thing, not necessarily involving the weather, but I had to go see my social worker earlier today. And when I left, I had to go to Walgreens quickly, which was across the street. Unfortunately, because as I've been bringing up a lot, because it's been such a hot day today, we had our cicadas. They were flying all over the place. I mean, they were everywhere.
So they
And I
did
literally
show up.
What?
So they did show up there.
They did show up, and I was battling them. I mean, they were coming at me a few times. I mean, surprisingly, none of them landed on me. But the way how I was kind of going, I mean, I was looking left, right, back, behind me, in front of me, above me. I mean, if you saw me the way I was moving, you probably would have found it hilarious because I was moving around almost like as if I was dancing, and I literally had to run. I had to wait till like the cross light showed up, and then I had to run to the parking lot, got to the Walgreens, and oh my God, I got to say, there was once while I was waiting for my sister to pick me up, there was a tree. There was a tree that was nearby the building, and I looked, I'm thinking, oh my God, there were like hundreds of these cicadas flying all over the place. I mean, they looked like as if you would see like a huge swarm of flies, but it wasn't flies. They were cicadas.
If it's any consolation, they come out, they breed, they die.
That's exactly what they do.
And they don't hurt you. They cannot hurt you.
No,
And
they don't.
you'll only see them once every. Do you have the 7-year ones or the 15-year ones?
It's 13 and 17-year ones. We actually have both of them out.
You'll never see that again in your life. So enjoy
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I might have said this before. Last time both brutes came out was 220 years ago, back in 1803.
No, there's none around here, at least not yet.
Yeah, here either. I don't think we'll ever get them,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
We're about
Yeah, there you go. So Nick, you can keep them.
yeah. From what I've seen the map, I mean, the furthest north they're getting, furthest north is obviously Wisconsin. They're getting up, although like where Joe's at, he said they haven't gotten them in the Madison area, so most likely southern Wisconsin's getting them. So that's as far north as southern Wisconsin. Far west is eastern Iowa. Far down south is Louisiana. Southeast, far southeast is down to Georgia, and as far east is up to Virginia, Maryland. I think possibly even Washington D.C. has them. So basically in about 18 or 19 states.
Yeah, let them take all of them. I don't care.
Well, in your case for Indiana, Jeremy, even though Indiana's one of them, they're actually saying it's more like Western Indiana that's getting them, because I was thinking that's why I was asking several times, were you getting them too? But since you haven't got any, I'm thinking, oh well, now looking at the map, looks like it was just Western Indiana that was getting them.
Yeah, not that I've seen, but then again, I don't really go anywhere. Not much, anyway.
They've been so loud. They've been so loud over here.
Yeah, nothing like that over here.
I know
Yeah,
they're
that's what Terry was saying. Remember, she was like, it sounds like aliens, just constant, constant.
it's off. Like from what I can tell you from my spot, it's the exact same way. It starts off kind of like a whistle, like a hiss almost, and then as the day progresses, it starts getting louder and loud, and when it gets at its loudest, it's like it comes in waves. You can't even think when you're outside.
See, this is
That's
where
their mating call.
advantage over everybody. I can just take my hearing aids out.
Oh, what you know what? I actually had to tell Dad several times, because my dad, if I haven't told you this before, he's been kind of having hearing issues. Like he's got problems with his ears where it's not necessarily he can't hear, but there's certain sounds that do injure his ears at times. So oftentimes he's had to go outside to the backyard, but just before he does, he hears that big mating song. He has to come back in to get the earbuds. These type of earbuds that cover, I mean, you can still hear, but cover him so he doesn't have to have that constant song blaring.
There are different things that he can have looked at. He can get a hearing test.
He already did it.
But he can also have his ear checked to see if it's getting plugged up with wax.
It's not necessarily that. He's already had a number of I almost said dentist appointments, not dentist appointments. He's had a number of appointments of where he's been getting his ears checked, and unfortunately there's probably not much that they can really do, because it's kind of hard to say. My dad would explain. There is surgery that he could take, but the problem is that it would take almost 6 months to recover from that. But also, even if they did surgery or fill up whatever it is, I think it was like a hole. They said he has like a hole in his head. Even if they tried filling that up, if that's even successful, that still doesn't mean that, yeah, it might have fixed his pain, but he could go deaf for the rest of his life.
A hole in his head or a hole in his eardrum?
It's basically a hole in his head, yeah, in his ear.
Okay, so what may have happened is that if he has a busted eardrum, then something was extremely loud and it busted it, and that's why it hurts so bad.
It probably does.
Yeah.
he's just-
Now, we were talking about ears. I don't know if he's going to be like this, and I don't know, Jeremy, if you have this issue. But like, let's say you take them out because have you ever been to a concert? Like a in the concert?
Several, yeah. I was just at a concert this year.
Do you have to take them out?
No.
Zach was telling me that, of course, he doesn't have any hearing aids because it wouldn't do any good. It's gone. But on that one side, he said he has to put an earplug on that side during a concert because the vibration hurts so bad in his deaf ear. His good ear's fine.
So with that can be different things. One, he's probably too close to the speaker, which that actually happened to me at one of the first concerts I went to where we were sitting, we were right next to the speaker and it was a full band. There's other things that when your hearing starts going, certain tones become much more sensitive to you.
Yeah.
So there are certain things that just kills my ears.
Him too. Like we go to Walmart and there's a kid screaming. He cannot do it. Like he can't do it. I don't know if it's certain tones, but certain things.
Certain frequency, pitch, certain pitch that that's really all it is for us is that certain pitches just kills us.
Yep.
For me,
Sean.
a jackhammer, one of them.
Oh yeah, and that also has the vibration to go with it. The jackhammer.
Not so much. Not for me. Not so much the vibration. It's just the sound of it. And when people are using the spirit boxes when they sweep through the channels, that hurts my ears. That's what I tell everybody. That's why I try not to participate in spirit box sessions because they hurt my ears something terrible unless they're able to lower it enough that it doesn't bother me, but yet they can still hear the responses.
I do it on white noise only. If something comes through, it better. I'm not sweeping nothing. It's white noise. Sean, that's actually interesting. I do like Jason. He's doing an investigation on YouTube.
Yeah, he started doing that recently. He's got 4 shows on now.
Well, that couldn't last forever. It's a constantly changing, Travel Channel's constantly changing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's that there are certain things that the networks want him to do that he will not do.
Yep, and that's why I like him.
Yeah.
Oh, guess what? Oh, my good news for the day. Well, for the year. I got pissed off with Xfinity, and I don't care. We couldn't get Zach kept going out, like, and they put a booster. I had to buy. Whose went out just then? What the hell just happened?
Well, you froze. Your video froze, but the audio was still coming through.
Yeah.
See, this is the bullshit I'm talking about. It should not be happening. So we woke up one morning and it said, we had no internet. I'm like, okay. I look on the app. There's no outages. So I, put in a work order. They said, well, let's check it manual. Okay, so they check it. And they said, yeah, there's a problem. We can't find your router. Okay. We went through the troubleshooting. Okay, we'll send a tech out in fine print under there, but you're going to be charged for the tech visit. Excuse me. They did this to me last time. It was their shit, their equipment, and I got charged for the tech visit. Done. So we now, as of last month, have an option to have Allo come in, which is that fiber optic.
Fiber optics are better.
And I'm like, it's got to be so much more. But I'm looking at my bill. I'm paying $275 for the internet and the TV. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, if it's more, I can't do it. But if it's not, we'll talk about this. We started putting in our package and it said order. And I brought it down to Zach and I said, look, here's the channels we'd get. You know, pick your package, whatever. It's $90 less a month than we're paying now. And they guaranteed we would get it from upstairs to down here. And I'm like, well, because I guess because it's fiber optic and it won't rely on just, you know, some booster to get it from upstairs to down here.
Well, the thing is, if that means they have to run something down.
Perfectly fine.
The fiber optics or what they put in the ground to send stuff to you guys.
Yeah.
At least around here, when we started getting fiber optics in, there was no fiber optics actually in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So if they connected anything to the router, that means they have to run a hard line from up there to the basement, which honestly would be better for you.
Yeah.
It would. So they came, our hookup date's tomorrow. And they came yesterday. They didn't tell us they were going to do this. And I looked at the reviews and everybody's bitching because this is new service. This is new for around here. They're having to bore holes to bury their line. And they're having to do actual construction because that's not what's been here. So all I'm hearing is Karen's. They did this and they put a hole in my yard and filled it with sand instead of dirt. Okay, you know what? You're lucky they filled it with anything. Just shut the hell up. And I was looking at these people that are complaining. They complain about every company that they come across, everybody. So I didn't pay any attention to that. Everybody said their service was better. Everything that they could upload or download, one of the two, it took an hour, is now taking less than a minute. And I'm like, oh, wow. So they came yesterday. They did their outside, put everything in they needed to do outside, connected the wires to the house, whatever they needed to do, followed Xfinity's. And then tomorrow, as soon as it's hooked up, I'm calling Xfinity and saying, get your shit out of here.
And guys, yes, you are seeing a little bit of a delay, and it is on Adrian's side, and it has to do with the situation she's going through right now.
Yeah, Xfinity.
Yeah.
So hopefully next week that will go away.
Yep,
But-
because tomorrow it'll be fixed. And it might also be the storm.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Because usually I don't have that issue. But the storm, I don't know, it's pretty dark. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know what the weather's like upstairs since I'm in the basement this time, so I can't really say for sure what it's like in my end.
You don't have windows in your basement?
No, we do have windows. I'm just in an area where there are no windows.
Are you kicked back on the Alexa? Shut up. Alexa, stop.
What were you gonna say?
Alexa, can you set a timer for 6:30 a.m.? Alexa, stop. Alexa, set a timer for 6:30 a.m. Tell Zach to get his ass up.
6:30 a.m. tomorrow. Would you like to see
You are.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Tell
it is
Zach
not
to
going
get
crazy.
his ass
She's
up.
actually talking to something in that room.
Hey, we should be so glad Brad is not here right now watching this.
Did she just really do it? Alexa, what is the timer for tomorrow?
Robert.
Alexa, what is the timer for 6:30 a.m. tomorrow?
Right, Sean.
what time is set? You have one alarm going off in 11 hours and 58 minutes.
It's going to be an alarm. It's not going to tell him that.
I heard it say something, but I couldn't make it out.
Either.
I couldn't either.
So what were you trying to say, Adrian, originally before the Alexa went off? You were telling me something. You got interested.
Oh,
She was asking you about being on your couch.
Yeah, because you can see most of you now like this instead of where you
Yeah.
usually up right up to the camera.
Well, he kind of has to be right now.
Yeah, I kind of have to for two reasons. First of all, I mean, unlike when I usually do in my room/office, it's hot up there right now.
I
And
bet.
well, and secondly, I have kind of a it's hard to believe. I actually have kind of a foot injury in which I kind of have to rest my foot with. So yeah, it's was that the Alexa again?
No.
No. But yeah, I also kind of have to I have to rest my foot too because I got a foot injury. I got an injury on my left foot.
It did, Sean.
That's awesome.
What did?
The Alexa did.
Oh,
Womp, 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 womp.
Alexa, what is the weather in Greeley, Colorado right now?
Mhm. It's 86 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies and sun. Tonight,
Okay, now this time I can hear it.
low of 63 degrees.
I can hear it, but I can't make out what it's saying.
In effect until Friday, June 14th, 12 a.m.
Alexa, volume 4. Alexa, have you lost your mind?
I'm happy to hear that.
And Sean,
Continue to say-
you've been watching this show long enough. Adrian can argue with anybody or anything.
Alexa, you need to recalibrate the weather.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
She said it's sunny skies. It's
No,
pitch
it's not.
black outside.
I think you need to unplug Alexa and do a hard reboot.
I told her she needed to readjust there. She goes, I'm not sure about that. I bet you're not. Alexa, should I replace you with Siri?
I'd like to know what went wrong. If you want to give me more details, please say I have feedback.
What is it?
I'd like to know what went wrong. If you would like, I'd like more detail. Because you're stupid.
That's almost like an incompetent worker saying, "Do you want me to report myself because I can?" I've actually heard people say that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Robert. I'm sure it is too.
Hey, Jill.
Hi, Jill.
Oh,
So we heard from Eileen today. She is home, but she put in a 12-hour workday, so she's a little tired right now.
yeah.
Hopefully, very soon we're gonna get her back on the show. It's just that she's going through a really, really, really busy time right now.
I'm really hoping she can come back real soon because there is something I'd like to share to you guys, but I want to wait until Eileen comes back. It's something that you guys are gonna you guys are gonna find it pretty
Time
funny.
for me when I leave again.
What's that?
I hope she gets back in time for when I leave again.
What is that again?
The date's still not set yet.
Okay.
I was going to say, is there something I missed that you know?
Yeah.
No,
Jill, okay. What the hell's going on? Is Jill's picture gone, or am I the only one that can't see it?
Yeah, I noticed her picture's gone too.
I think I don't know. She may have changed her profile picture because I have noticed
She
it.
doesn't have one for now.
Yeah, because I've noticed that in the chat as well. So Jill has decided to go rogue on us.
He hasn't been on Fear Fans either.
Uh-oh, what's going on?
Last week on Myth or Mystery, we had a video submitted,
Yes.
one that I had been on Okay, I'm not. Apparently, Jill thinks it's hilarious that I'm calling her rogue. Oh, and you know what, Jill? Actually, I'm glad you did that because when I was writing in my book today, I actually said rogue. I actually wrote down rogue, but I misspelled it. So now seeing that, I need to go back and correct it.
X-Men, right? Rather be Wolverine than Rogue.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna set this up for you guys. Um, 3 years ago, Nick.
Yeah. 3
3
years ago.
Okay. 3 years ago, we went to the Old Lake County Jail, which is still not open for investigations right now. Currently, they're hoping to get that changed soon.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was closed for closed to investigate. I knew before you said we couldn't go because of our schedules, but I didn't know it was actually closed for investigations for now.
Oh, I thought you saw the post. There's like an update in the codes now, the city codes, fire codes, all of that stuff. And now that means that the jail can no longer have any occupancy in the building.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that means no more overnight investigations until they are either to get grandfathered in, which technically they should have been, or if they are able to do updates and upgrades to come up to code.
Okay, yeah, that I can see where that's going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jill, we'll talk. Yeah, we definitely need to catch up, Jill. It's actually been a while since we've actually spoken on the phone, but yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, all you say is that no overnights there or just temporary then?
Just temporary for now.
How you doing?
Just all depends on what's going on. So I know on Saturdays they would do Saturdays and I think Sundays too, maybe, that they would do daytime tours. I don't know if they're allowed to do that still or not. I don't know. So 3 years ago there was a project that Sandy had come up with. Sandy's the one she is the president of the historical society that owns and runs the jail. She had an idea about a show and she approached me about it. I really liked the concept. It was about how, on most shows you get one team going to multiple locations and pretty much how every other show is. She wanted to do a show where it was one location and bringing multiple teams in and seeing how the building reacts to the different teams, if they get the same evidence, if they get different evidence, if they get any at all. And then at the very end of the season, do something like a round table with a member from each of the teams. So I was more or less left in charge of developing this show. Came up to what I think 6 teams to do
Yeah,
it.
6. I remember it was 6 teams. Yeah.
So came up to 6 teams, and that was going to be including the house team, the one that knows the building better than anybody else. So I then came up with Nick and Don being the cameramen. And the first team that we were going to do was the house team. And let's see, this was normally it would be over 2 nights, but with the house team we only did 1 night because we did the paranormal Leak project the next night. Wow, Nick, we can see you in living color.
I know, right?
What do you mean?
You're not pasty white anymore.
Well, because
No,
I'm
now
in the
it's black,
basement.
but
I'm in the
look at him.
basement this time. That's why. You just noticed now?
Sean, that is half border collie. The other half is greyhound.
Oh, I see what's going on here. It's because I had a Microsoft Word page open for a second. That's why you guys saw me briefly.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, hang on, me trying to get this here. So this video that I'm going to show you here is 2 minutes long. I'm just going to let it play normal speed. I guess I could turn the sound on. So the two people that
It's probably best to have the sound on because what you're going to see, you're even going to probably hear me say like, "What the?" Because I actually spoke when that happened. Like, what the hell is that? It's barely audible still, but I'm like, "What the hell is that?"
Okay. So who you're going to see on here are Earl and Denise, husband and wife team. They are, or at least were, volunteers at the jail. Haven't been at the jail in about a year and a half now, so I don't know if they're still there. But I do know that they had been there for quite some time. So they were doing an EVP session. There are actually two cameras here. The camera that we're going to be watching from now is the one that Nick was watching. Don is off to the left, and at some point you will see his camera come into view, but not for long. And then you're going to see something strange. You're going to see something very strange.
Still blows my mind to this day.
Let's see. Let's see if this works. Can you hear anything?
No.
I could hear a little, but just barely.
I've got the volume all the way up.
Oh, there it is.
I couldn't hear anything. Let me turn it up all the way.
Here, try doing it because there's another way you could do that. Like, try doing it from like the mic, like because there's like a full screen edition. There's what is that one? It's called
I'm gonna do share screen here.
Try that, but if not, try entire screen next because that's when the sound worked for me. I still don't hear anything.
Oh, you know what? I bet you. Well, look at this right here.
Yeah, this huge shadow, whatever the hell this thing is, just shows up out of nowhere from the ceiling.
Now, this here is Don, where you see him here in the corner.
Yep, that's him. And the weirdest thing is, I'm standing there. I'm like, "The hell is that thing?" And I do turn around, to make sure it's not a shadow. Which because there were windows behind me, but it wasn't that bright. Oh, and yeah, very briefly, you see me point the camera up to the ceiling, and I checked with Don and I asked him like, "Are you getting this too?" And he says the weirdest thing is he never got on his camera.
Now check this out. You can almost see the thing here because it goes right here. Look, check this out.
It's like a giant funnel almost.
Yeah. And we got 30 seconds left of this film, and then just
Here.
as quickly as it came down, it goes right back up.
But wait, then it gets better. Yeah, see, it's gone now.
It covered his face and it covered his head and everything.
But
Yeah.
wait. Watch what happens next. See, there's
You're not going to see it a second time.
Oh, it was there a second time. Oh, you must have had it cut down.
Yeah, I cut the clip out so that I could send it to Mary Ann.
Okay.
So
It shows up, but essentially it shows up again a second time. But unlike the first time, though, it was only there for maybe about 5 to 10 seconds at the most, and then it goes back up to the ceiling, and then it was gone for good.
And nobody else captured that?
I checked with Don. I was even looking through his monitor, and he didn't get it. And it's when you think of paranormal footage like that, usually you see stuff like that after it's all been recorded. This happened while I was recording it. I could see it through the little monitor of the camera. So it was one of the few times I actually, if this is something truly paranormal, one of the few times I actually captured something legitimate while it was in progress instead of checking later.
When you were filming, were you able to look up at his face too? Like look away from the camera and look up at him, see if you saw it?
Yeah, I looked, and on his, from my own eyes, he looked, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, it was dark, but I could see his face. It
Wow.
was only just on the camera that covered his face. He said he never felt anything. I mean, something like that you would have thought he would have felt. He never did. Didn't even know that it was right on top of him.
Well, that goes along with the theory of you can put 3 recorders down in this, next to each other, and sometimes only one will get something.
we
And the other
actually
two
got
get it.
something like that at a residential here in town years ago. It was myself, Michael, and then what's her name? She's not a part of the team anymore. But it was the 3 of us, and we each had a different type of recorder sitting on the kitchen table, and there were certain things that one recorder got and none of the others, and then one recorder would get something else and none of the others did.
Yeah.
That was unique.
Same thing with cameras, apparently.
Yeah.
See, I'd never seen that with cameras, but I have heard that with recorders.
Tom, it's regular IR light on these cameras. Now with that, with the original video fresh in mind, I'm going to show you guys the video that Ryan made where he added color to it.
Yeah.
And what we saw was just simply amazing.
I just, after the show, I mean, my eyes were just huge. In fact, believe it or not, Jeremy, when I went to play golf after last week's show, I was like, guys, they're showing my video. I need to watch this right now. And you could hear and you could see my reaction, like, oh my God. Like I was going crazy when I saw this. Unbelievable.
Okay, so with all the audience here, I know Tom said something made a lot of sense. So if that wasn't it, what else? What else could do this?
Well, Jill thinks that footage capture is pretty amazing.
It is. I'm just trying to debunk.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Ryan suggested. Ryan said that he first thought about somebody running their finger down the front of the camera to block the IR light, but the RR light is literally right on top of the lens, all the way around. So if you put your finger there, you're gonna block that camera. There's no way you're gonna be able to miss
Yeah.
that.
That's a good.
And
yeah,
I had
that's a
no
good question.
Yeah, and I had no reason to even touch the lens of the camera. I mean,
Yeah.
that time when I was filming, I just had one hand up, which was the camera. My other one was like this, basically. Like, again, I was in that position, like, what the hell is this thing?
Yeah, look at this.
Okay.
You can see there at the top, you can see how it just gets darker and darker and darker.
Okay, so where are the windows in relation to where everything is there?
The windows we were not too far from the front of the building. The windows were actually behind us. And when I saw this thing, I actually checked behind me several times. I even moved, you can kind of see, I kind of move around a little bit to make sure I wasn't causing the shadow. But none of the lights, that like street lights or anything, they didn't have, it didn't have that ability to create such a shadow like that. Because I'm moving around to make sure it's not me. But even with the lights outside, it was not bright enough to emit a shadow like that.
This is in the house part, right? Up on the second floor?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, so second floor, that makes a difference. Did anybody have a flashlight of any kind? Any other light? Was she holding a light?
I know Don and I weren't. We didn't have flashlights. As far as she had one, I don't remember if she ever did have one.
I see she's got something in her hand, but it looks like maybe an Xbox or
It might be.
EMF?
It might be
He's holding on to another recorder like he is. Now,
Yeah.
that you're seeing that shining on her here, that's actually the IR light coming
right.
Right.
Don was holding.
Hey, Nikki.
So, and you can see the shadow here being created, but this
Yeah.
one here, this shadow here is caused from Don's camera.
Yeah.
But the shadow here is just mind blowing.
Well, and
What
also
is on the other side? Because before it looked black, and when you put the light on it like that, there's like webbing back there, like construction webbing.
now Tom's asking if Don was also recording. Do you have the second image? No, I think he's talking about the second image, like from his camera.
Let's see.
But I do remember we reviewed it from his camera, and he never got any of it.
Yeah, but I think what he's getting at is maybe we can see different angle of
Well, that's
what
that's
the
I'm
lighting
hoping-
was.
That's what I'm hoping to see too. It's obvious. I haven't seen it since then, but I'll be
That would
curious.
help. Yeah, that would help with any debunking we can do. But
Yeah,
I mean,
and trust me, I've sent this to like numerous hardcore skeptics, like really some of the ones, those skeptics that can really disappoint you. I've sent this footage off to several hardcore skeptics, and not even they could think of something of what could have caused something like this. But we'll see in a second if he has the footage for it
whose footage? That's your footage, right, Nick?
from my camera. Yeah, that's actually my own camera.
Okay. Well, I was trying to make sure it was your footage before I asked this question. I have two skeptics that I might be able to send it to, see if we can get an idea.
Yeah.
You know both of them, so it's not a big deal.
Oh, here it is. There it is.
Okay, so
I don't know if that's the exact moment, but
no, because he was facing the other way.
yeah.
Well, he does turn around.
Okay.
Okay, so in that room, there's no windows, there's no nothing, right?
No.
No,
Okay.
you can see it's
There.
pitch black
That's
in the
about
background.
when it happened, is right around there. He was looking like that. Okay, in his glasses, you can't see any lights.
Other
other
than the
than-
reflection.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is the exact moment. It looks like it is.
Yeah, and there's nothing.
There's no lights on him, but
No. And the only lights that you're seeing in the reflection off of his glasses are from the IR lights on the cameras.
did you notice him looking down though and then shrugging his shoulder like he felt something?
Oh, that's interesting point out.
I mean, he may not have realized it at the time, but he looks like he did. And that might be wishful thinking, but I mean, he would know if he did or not.
Yeah, I mean, still, that's interesting you brought that up, Adrian.
He grabs his arm, which, holding your phone up, I understand that. And then he shrugged that shoulder. He looked down and then he shrugged that shoulder like, what's touching me?
Oh,
Yeah,
I remember why there's no sound to
There,
this.
see that?
yeah.
And then he's like, he grabs his arm and then like, get off me.
Hey, Jeremy, do you mind if Nikki joins tonight?
Hmm?
You mind if Nikki joins for tonight? She's asking if she can join in the show tonight.
If you can say hi to the rest of us besides Nikki.
She did right here.
I know. She said hi, Nick. first. I have to give her a hard time.
Okay, I see why she wants to join. She sent me a couple pictures. She wants us to have a look at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead, bring her in.
I was going to say, it's been a while since we've had a guest on.
So, Nick, if you talk to him again, point that out to him. See
Yeah.
if that triggers
Well-
anything.
Well, you know what's funny? I got to point this out. Believe it or not, I mean, before I even met you guys, Tom McNicholas and we've actually known Earl before that because he used to actually be one of the tour guides for Joliet Prison when they first started opening the tours and investigations up back in 2018. So I've been fortunate enough to know him for quite a long time.
Robert, that's interesting. We will go back over that.
See what he said. I think I saw something in the room behind him about the time where the black was over his face and Nick's. Okay, yeah.
Okay. See, it takes lots of eyes to point something out because when you're the one that took it, especially me, I'm focused on that one thing that I saw then and nothing else. Everything else just goes out the window. If you get a chance though, Nick, send me that.
Yeah, definitely. I've had a lot of people have suggested it too. And once again, like I always want to say, I'm not doing this for, fame or attention or whatever, but I'm actually considering about sending it to Paranormal Caught on Camera.
You really should. I actually thought about doing one reel.
Hey, Adriana, love you.
Hi.
Hello.
I actually have no real ones to send because
Hey, Jeremy.
it's in New Mexico. The only one real thing I got is in New Mexico, but I thought about sending one real, one fake and see what they do because they try to make everything real.
You know, it would be interesting because I would like to send this to the show. This is just a suggestion, Jeremy, but you should send me the footage too from Don's side. So that way they can kind of compare, like saying that, okay, well, I captured this, but strangely, this didn't appear on his friend's camera or something like that.
I
I don't know if they would do that.
I don't know if you did send it to me. I know I sent the footage of mine to you, but I don't know if I ever got Don's footage.
Who's hyper focused? Oh, I get what you're saying. Sorry, Robert. I'm caught up. Thank you.
Well, yeah, a side by side. Yeah. And
I'm
also-
caught up. Thanks.
And believe it or not, I mean, not only do I want to send this to the show, last year when I went to ParasiteCon, Brian, I actually showed the footage to Brian J. Cano and Aaron Sagers from the show, and they want me to not only send it for the show, but they also want me to send that footage to them personally because they found it just as fascinating as everybody else has.
All
They
right,
can't-
Nick. Here's the thing. You want to send it? When you commit to actually wanting to send it, I'll send it to 2 people. I'll
Yes.
send it to that show and put your name on it so they contact you. Are you willing to go on TV?
Yes.
Okay. I will contact them and Boo Brothers.
That would be great. I'd be interested to see how things would turn out with this because, like I said, and honestly, and I said this to Jeremy last week when they showed it on Myth or Mystery.
Uh-huh.
I was even telling myself, because Ryan usually is the big hardcore skeptic of the show.
Sure.
I was even telling I know I couldn't actually talk to him, but I was like, tell me something good there, Ryan. Break my heart completely in 2 in disappointment. And
We were hoping for that.
huh?
We were hoping for that.
Yeah, I was like that too. And when he couldn't come up with an idea, that's when I just went crazy over the footage. It's like unbelievable.
Okay, so after the show, send it to me. And if I have your permission, I will send it to those people with your contact info.
Certainly, definitely.
Send me those, your email. I have your number.
Yep.
Your email because they will contact you via email.
Yeah, I know, Tom. I know. I told him over a year ago. Do it.
Well, it takes somebody taking control like Mama Bear and doing it.
Yeah.
The only thing about that, Nick, is making sure that they don't fix it to where they own that.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll ask that question too.
Sure.
Because if they're going to fix it to where you can't show it anywhere else, honestly, it's not worth it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Sounds ominous.
Hey, Robert.
Yes, light up her. Yeah, she does, Robert. She does.
She has a lot
She's a good mommy.
Check this out. Julia says that was one of the best ones of my favorites, Myth or Mystery, talking about your capture footage with that huge shadow. Yeah. And I think it's worth saying this because we got, obviously, as we all know, and it's just something that I think is important to say. All these other investigators out there who are trying to get, like, let's say, the Holy Grail or trying to get the best piece of paranormal footage out there. It's worth saying that it's not that easy as it looks. And for me, being in the field now for almost 20 years since I was 12, this was taken 3 years ago, 2021. It took me 16 years before I captured like my first ever video footage. And that goes to show how long it could take for anybody to capture something like this on camera. Sometimes some people are lucky. For some, it could be a year, it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 20 years. It could even be longer than how long it took me to get my first ever piece of footage.
But what makes
Right. Yeah. Look.
what
Jeremy.
makes yours rare,
You-
Nick, is that you actually saw it as it happened.
That too. And that's even rarer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what makes yours rare and stand apart from most others, because most other people can't say that they saw this happen as it happened.
Well, and that's why I said when you see paranormal footage, it's usually after it's been recorded. You don't get very many pieces of footage where you actually see it maybe not with my own eyes, but you actually see that footage on the little monitor in progress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what I'm tired of seeing is those
And a lot of
what
people.
they call rods. I'm sick of it.
Oh, rods, yeah.
Those, especially in graveyards or in your home camera, they are flipping bugs. And those little things you see outside the rod, those are its wings flapping. Stop it.
Yeah. Actually, Robert just kind of it's like, I know a lot of people compare like capturing the best footage, kind of like fishing almost. But in this case, Robert here took him 6 years to get a decent picture of the Ulysses butterfly went up in the far north of Queensland, Australia. So it's
Yeah.
unrelated, but it took that long for him to see a type of butterfly in that case.
Mm. Being on the field, a lot of people think you automatically get paranormal activity. People don't realize you have to sit there for 9 hours to get that 15 minutes of footage, or even 2 minutes. Like with my team, when we go out, maximum we do is 9 hours. The other day, it literally took us 30 minutes to get activity, but then when you go back to the same location, it may take another 9 hours to get actual footage or images and stuff like that, because they don't want to communicate, and that's totally fine. So that's my little piece.
I mean, it's essentially, and I know I've said this numerous times on not only this show, but I've said it on a lot of different podcasts, that for any new ones out there, that, you know, newcomers that want, I would even say it. I know I wasn't able to get the opportunity to do it this year, but maybe once the school year resumes, if I have the opportunity, I'll do so. Because one of these days, I'd like to visit my old paranormal club that is still running at my high school. And I'm going to give them the honest truth, saying, yes, it's great to investigate, but you're not going to get things like in the snap of a finger. I mean, I literally would say, like I said, the same thing I said repeatedly, which is 90% of paranormal investigating is usually boring. You go to these places, you investigate them, and for the most part, nothing happens. Or if something does happen, you're not going to know until you look back onto the either video footage or audio recordings.
Yeah, that's like the one I sent Jeremy. We didn't actually see it at the time, and then I look back, I'm like, holy cow, is that what I think I'm seeing? So,
Which one do you want me to show first?
the one in the window, please. So I'll give you a little bit of information about this location.
Sean makes a good point.
Sorry, this location.
Yeah, it's like fishing. You have to be patient.
So,
Sorry.
No, you're right. It's all good. So this place is one of the top out of 10 locations in WA to be one of the most haunted locations. It's the Kalamunda Hotel. Jeremy, I think you need to zoom in a little tiny bit. So the place is Kalamunda Hotel. It was owned by one of the owners, which is Paddy, which is that lovely gentleman in the window. We've been there probably about 5 times. The first time we got there, we had a lot of cat ball activity and REM pods going off. Second time we went there, I kept hearing, take my photo, take my photo, take my photo. So I pretty much just had my hand up. I wasn't even looking. I just took a random photo, went back and caught this. I think it might be Paddy, or it might be the female spirit that also walks the rooms as well. Paddy used to be one of the previous owners back in 1902, we believe. He worked there for many, many years until he passed. Also, the history is that there was a young lady and she committed suicide off the balcony. Also, there is a baby spirit that comes with her. So it's kind of like a mother and daughter activity, especially if you're a female investigator. And I had this a lot. I would sit down and I would constantly feel, you know, when a kid kind of runs against your feet and you have that sensation of, mummy, 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 I'm trying to get your attention. I had that pretty much through the whole night. Also, one of the workers that works there, her name is Stephanie, and she had that as well on the night. And when she works there, she constantly gets that. Also, Stephanie and I have a bond because both of our daughters are autistic. And we constantly would get that through the night, like mum, touch. So, yeah. And this footage is where the bar is upstairs. We call it Paddy's Bar just for respect. We're like, hey, Paddy, if you want your photo taken, you know, if you want to play with some cat balls, go for it. That one, I just randomly took a photo and caught, we believe it's Paddy in the window. So I don't know if you can zoom in, Jeremy, but.
So you're looking here.
Yep, where your mouse is just below.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I didn't even notice that.
Oh,
No.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Now that you say that, Nikki. Yeah, now that you say that, Nikki, I didn't even think, wow.
Yeah, if you look kind of, I'll try and zoom. If you zoom in a little bit, you kind of see like the hat, the beard, the nose, the glass. Yeah, so.
Phew, excuse me.
A bit further down. Down. Cross. That way. Sorry, Jeremy. So it'd be the second window in. Yep. In that room, we had a lot of cat ball activity. We reckon it's Paddy because of the other photo I sent you through. Yeah, he just likes to chat pretty much the whole night. Cat balls were going off and stuff like that. So
Robert
Yeah.
here says mid pane on left. He sees a face in the glass. Yeah.
yep. It looks like we think it's Paddy, but we also think it may be the female older spirit that we later found out the second time we went there. The history goes, and we're like going way, way, way back. There was a lady that went into the hotel and she never actually came out. And they believe she may have took her own life or murdered. So we're not too sure about that, but that's just down the track. So,
That's
yeah.
interesting. That's really interesting.
But we've
You-
never felt like it's negative. We've always felt like it's positive, especially with Paddy. And every time you mention, we always call him Paddy. His birth name is, I have to double check, but we just call him Paddy for short. Every time we're there, like cat balls were going off and stuff. And then if we stop talking about Paddy, everything stops. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you guys think, Adrian and Jeremy? What do you guys think?
I actually got distracted here in this last couple of minutes. I
That's okay, Jeremy.
got some people that are trying to get a hold of me.
I really hate to say anything unless I was there, simply because pareidolia is just so it's so easy. I mean,
Yeah.
I can see it. I can see the little man, bald head, beard.
Yeah.
But looking over to the right, I mean, I can see lots of things. So I hate to say anything unless I was there, and you were there, so you know what you felt, you know what you have gotten, and that's a place you investigate, so you know what's supposed to be there.
Cool. Yeah, I just wasn't sure if it was male or female, but
It looks to me like, in my point of view, it looks more like a male. Because, like, what I can see from my end, because here's the thing, I'm looking through this right now through an HDMI cable, so I'm seeing this through a projector. So, so I'm looking at a larger screen. So the way how I see it, it looks like a male, and I can clearly see the holes, obviously, because the eyes. I can see a nose, and it looks like he's got maybe a beard, like a heavy beard and mustache. That's the way how I kind of see it.
Okay, thank you.
Now, Robert here just said, getting the name McGillicuddy when you said Patty. So, yeah, it just that's the way how it looks to me from my point of view.
Thank you. So yeah, that night was pretty
Person,
good night.
Yes, the activity, yes, or answers to the night, depending on what you were all asking for responses.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah,
just
that's really interesting. Really interesting.
Because at the night, we're just flipping through photos, and when my cameraman was like, "Hey, we caught this," and I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, Jeremy had to get off for just a few minutes, so I don't know if there were other pictures that you guys took that had something.
Sure. I'll see if I can send you some.
Yeah, because wait a minute, Jeremy has the share on, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to share myself as long as he's got the share.
So, Nikki,
yes,
you go here quite often, right?
Yes, we do. Yep.
How many spirits do you normally talk to that are there?
Personally, I reckon there's 3. Because of my mediumship and stuff, I always get like a little girl running around. And she's kind of just like, hey, I'm just with my mum or with the person that's passed over, but she kind of connects it with her mum. Because there's a lot of different stories that have been told. So there's Patty, which is the photo I just sent you, Nick, one of the previous owners, and then there's believed a girl that committed suicide. There also is to believe that there was a baby that was murdered in the bathtub upstairs.
Oh,
I'm not going to go I'm not going to go into details in that, because that room I literally couldn't even step in. I literally went to take one step and I was just like, nope. My guides were like, don't leave it, because the hotel normally doesn't let investigators actually go in there, because it's been boarded shut, and they're like, for you guys, because you're one of the most respectful investigators, we'll let you go in there. One of my teammates just walked and then sat there and did an the method, and I was like, yep, I'm not walking there. I'll record it. But and then she was in there literally for probably 2 minutes and then walked out, and she's like, nah. But yeah,
wow.
it's a great hotel. Everyone's really respectful. The food's great. Patty, you'll kind of, as an investigator, you'll kind of see him in the corner of your eye. As soon as we mention his name, he'll literally light the room. The little girl likes to play with cat balls. They went off like crazy pretty much through the whole night as asking questions like, is there a female spirit? Cat ball would go off. Are you a little girl? Cat ball would go off. REM pod would go off across the room. I've got footage of that actually. It actually says one of my investigators' names through the ETHA method. It goes, where's Austin? And Austin's one of my investigators. And we're like, oh, he's just going to the bathroom. It's like, okay. We did SM method down flight of stairs. So for people who don't know what that is, it's when you have sorry, my screen's just gone black.
It's been black for a while.
Yeah, it has been. We could still hear you though.
So
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, thank you. So for people that don't know what that is, we put cancelling noise earphones, and we have a little device, and all you hear is, and then spirits be able to communicate through you. We did that downstairs, and I kept getting Mitch the whole night. And one of the bar attendants, his name is Mitch. That's my Facebook page. That's my Facebook page too. That's Patty. Yeah, we were downstairs doing the method and kept saying Mitch. He kept saying pregnant, baby, girl, Ava, 23 weeks. A week later, after our investigation, I got a phone call from Mitch. His girlfriend's given birth to a baby girl. And her name is very close to the name we kept saying through the FM box. So, yeah.
Golly.
And his face was just like, how did she know? And I'm like, spirits always around you. You don't know that they're there, but they're always around you. His guardian angels around you, you know.
Robert, at one point, the picture, the one previous to that one, said he even kind of looks like Charlie Chaplin in a way.
He does. I mean, you can see a resemblance. Yeah.
He does he does have an appearance almost like he could have been like a silent actor back in his days.
Well, that's the age there was silent actors. I mean, but that beard to me was very prominent. Like it was very, very prominent. So, and it looks like the same face. Yes. But the beard was like, it had gone completely wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jill, if you're still on, do you remember? I'm going to have to go back and when we did this and see what you said. But do you remember my red hallway upstairs?
Who doesn't remember
about that hallway?
I was going to say, who doesn't remember
What?
that hallway? You always remember that.
Well, no, she said certain things about that hallway. Okay. So I had a crew, some of my friends that are always here, but they went up and decided they needed to investigate upstairs.
Yeah, she's still here. Red room.
It's a whole damn red hallway. But the questions, somebody had a spirit box. Oh, one of those. It's not a it's the generic version. The box that just says words constantly, you know.
Box?
Yeah, we've got one of those.
No, the real expensive damn
Obelisk.
obelisk. It's a generic version of this. But if you turn it up too high, it just starts spurting off words. You have to turn it
Good,
down. But
Echovox.
Yep.
I don't know what they call it. It looks
Barebolt.
like it almost looks like a big fleur, but it's not. It is actually the same type of thing.
Oh, I think I know what that is. I don't remember the name. Yeah.
I don't either. But they brought it down because something happened upstairs. I don't remember what happened upstairs, but it started screeching, and they've never heard it screech before. It was screeching instead of putting words out. And it doesn't say them. It just puts them on the screen like an Ovilus does. And upstairs it said demon. And it started screeching.
Oh.
And she went and got the other girl and was like, hey, what is going on here? And so they, dismissed it, come downstairs. As soon as they hit the stairs, Zach was cooking breakfast and it said breakfast when they come down the stairs. So we're like, oh, that's pretty cool. And so, but I still didn't pay much attention to it. And one of them had dowsing rods. One of them had that and different things. And it told him to go back upstairs. And I'm like, okay. I stayed down here. It's like, whatever. Now, what did it do?
It looks like we're losing Nikki.
No, her
Sorry.
screen is gone. Her screen has gone black a lot of times, but we can still hear her though.
Yeah, no, she's fine now. It was my screen.
I think I can explain why that's happening, and it's right here. You need to charge your phone.
Steady, Jeremy. We're fine.
But it was funny because I went upstairs and they were doing the Estes method.
Mhm.
And one was on one end of the hallway, one was in the bathroom.
Yep.
And if you've ever seen my house, that's about 20 feet apart.
Mhm.
Jill says she remembers seeing a portal in your home.
Yeah, that's kind of what you're not the only one that said that. Are you talking about in the corner, Jill?
Is that in the kitchen?
The red? No, it's just
No.
a hallway to bedrooms and a
It's
bathroom.
it's upstairs. It's on the second floor.
But so I
And
went up
there's
there.
an original claw bathtub in that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we went up there. I went up there while they were doing that, and she was sitting there, and she had the headphones on, had her eyes closed, and we had cameras. They had cameras on her. I was not a part of this. I just walked in on it.
Yep.
And they said she's coming,
Oh wow.
which I thought, she could have heard me coming. I'm not even going to worry about that.
Mhm.
And then it said, the gist of it was there was a little boy that had fallen down a well. Well, there's not a well on this property anymore. I don't know what was, but not anymore. This used to be farm property, yes.
Yep.
And then it started talking about reach down, get him.
Mhm.
You have to help me. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just like, it was bad.
Yes.
You felt awful for
Mhm.
this person.
Mhm.
And then it said, open it up or lift it up. And I
Yeah.
knew exactly what it meant. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
Well, my mother-in-law told me that she used to, in my office now, there's a little place, it's all hardwood floors, but part of it is cut out where they would pick it up and hide stuff in there. And I thought,
wow.
cute little hidey hole, whatever.
Yeah.
And so, you know what? I'm going to replace this floor anyway. This carpet I'm taking it back to hardwood. So I took a carpet knife right where it was, opened it up, and the girls are still doing the Estes method while I'm digging in this hole here. And when I first look at it, I'm like, it's old newspaper. I don't see anything. And the girls stop. They come with the flashlight and help me, and you can see the dust coming out of this thing. I'm talking. This house was built in 1908, and I'm going, this can't be good to breathe.
I can imagine it's not.
So we're looking through shit, and I'm like, what is it wants me to find? I have no idea. I don't understand. So I'm taking this newspaper out and I'm looking, and there's my shit in there from 1908 because this thing has not been opened since 1950. And I'm like, okay, nah. And I'm picking all this up. The girls are looking at the newspaper. 1932
Wow.
is this newspaper. They used it
Wow.
as insulation. So I'm like, okay, I'm picking out. It's trash. We're getting it out of here. Trash. And one of the girls goes, look at that. There's a little man down there. And I'm like, I don't know what you're seeing, but I don't care. She goes, no, not a man, a figurine. I'm like, what? We get to the bottom of this. There is a little figurine that is an inch tall, and it's a military figure.
It's a tiny thing.
Yeah.
Tiny, but you can see every detail on this thing except its little hands have been eaten off by mice. And I'm like, this cannot be good to be breathing. So I'm, vacuum the dust and then the mice. And I look down, it goes straight down to the basement. It's the wiring and the pipes that go straight to the basement. And I'm like, nope. But I find bobby pins and this little figurine.
Oh, wow.
What it means, I have no idea. I'm sure that is not what it wanted me to find. But I told Mom, I said, Mom, what? I found this in there. She goes, yeah, that's my brother's. I know when he put it in there. I said, okay. She said, I thought if he ever come back, he knows where he left it. He can always have it back. I'm like, Mom, he's your age. He ain't coming back here to find that thing. It's not going to happen. So it's in my jewelry box in case he ever comes back to find it. But I don't know what it meant. But Jill, that demon, the portal thing, I don't know what it is. I don't believe in everything is a demon.
Yep.
And I do believe that all these little devices say it all the time. I don't feel anything negative in here, but I think something is pretending.
So
Opens,
what
closes,
you-
I remember the
what
hall
you-
felt like a train depot. So you can get busy. Oh, yeah. Especially when they're being called upon, like investigation seance. Yeah. There's one guy that keeps coming through here, and I don't know who he is. He's looking for his wife and
Touching.
baby. That's all I know.
No touching.
Yeah, ask for help. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They constantly, some of them can connect with me, others cannot.
Yeah.
Because I'm not that good. If they want to connect with me, they absolutely can. I'm open.
Yep.
All the time.
Let's show you get
But-
it out.
Oh, I got it out.
They
It's in my jewelry box. Anybody that would like to come get it, the spirit knows where it is. Take it.
Someone to scare you or something like that. That's what she said.
Yeah, she showed me a size comparison of that figurine. It is. It's like that big.
I still can't
Aw.
find a date on it. I did a Google search. I did everything. I cannot find a date. I know it's one of the first because it's not a self-standing. Because after the first ones, they did like the plastic in between them where they stood up on their own.
Oh,
This
like a
one
beast.
It's actually it's supposed to be dead, wounded soldier. It's laying. It's supposed to lay and have his fist
I've got
on.
you.
But that's to me, that's terrible. We wouldn't give that to our kids these days, but back then they were realistic with their kids.
Jill meant the word in OVI was just trying to scare you a little.
I'm sure. And it did. It scared them. It did its job. I was like, I'm up there all the time. It's not an issue for me. I never feel anything
Just gonna
negative
try-
up there.
I'm trying to send you a video, Nick, but I don't think it's gonna come through in time. Come on.
No, you're good.
That's
I'm
why I
actually
go
going-
black.
I just got to go back to something that I missed that Jill also said.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I'll see. Look at it in just a second. Nick. Oh yeah, this is something I was gonna. This was back on the video. My reading was it definitely is legit. I think even Miriam was insane picking up on as me. We thought same for you for the shadow. So there, Nick, I believe it is legit paranormal. And Sean also makes a good point. It's like
Didn't she say unknown originally on that video and then switched
Yeah.
to mystery?
yeah, it was unknown first, then she switched to mystery.
What was unique about this is that This had been the biggest swing I had ever seen of people going from myth or unknown to mystery.
Yeah.
Normally, the swing is the other way, going to myth, but I
Yep.
had never seen it go to mystery.
That blew my mind once again.
Yeah.
Nikki, I got your video. Hang on, let me just sure. Robert here says some ghosts run on electricity, some run on scares. That is true in some way.
Yeah, this didn't scare her like that. She was just like, didn't you say somebody said there's a portal? I said a lot of people say there's a portal right there in that corner. Now,
Just
do I feel it?
Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. They run their electricity off of scares.
That's right.
I hope I
So
seen
what-
the right video because I made it.
No.
So this video here,
This
I saw a little bit of it, but go ahead, explain this one.
So this is opposite the room where the figure was seen in the window. This is Patty's bar, we call it. Every time we go up there, we're like, hey, Patty, do you want some drinks? Let us know. And we're halfway talking, and halfway through the sentence, because I was going to be like, do you want your photo? And then the cat ball goes off. Like, I don't even get to finish my sentence. So,
Okay. Check
Yep.
it out.
So would you like your photo taken? Is that correct? Can you light it up?
You guys hear it?
For me, please.
Yeah.
Thank you. If you like your photo taken, can you turn it back on again and I'll take your photo? It's really, really quick, this one. I think it's like 20 seconds, not even that, but I'll see if I can send a longer one.
Yeah, that's like it's going right back.
So would you like your photo taken?
Yep.
Is that correct? Can you light it up? Can you turn it off for me, please? Thank you.
I know that a lot of people have mixed thoughts of cat balls, but I liked how it immediately responded after you asked it about can you turn it off, please?
Yep. There is one that I have to download, and we're literally sitting at the bar, and because I asked Stephanie, I was like, hey, can we actually walk into the bar bit? Because before we do stuff, we always ask. And she's like, yeah, that's cool. And then one of my investigators comes down, and he's like, oh, Patty, do you want a drink? Put down the glass. And we're literally just sitting there having like a full-on conversation with Patty, asking questions about the pub. Cat balls are going off when we're asking these questions like, hey, do you like the workers here? What they're doing? Are they doing a great job? Cat ball goes off. Stephanie here walk up the flight of stairs, and I was like, oh, hey, do you know Stephanie? Cat ball goes off. Mentioned Mitch a few times, that went off. There is one point where I was like, do you want us to leave? And the REM pod goes off. So I was like, okay, we're packing up. See you later. And I hear in my head the little girl going, don't leave. And I was like, I'll bring a toy next time. So next time we're going to bring her a little ball and she can play with it.
Nice.
But yeah. Apparently it's one of the most haunted hotels in Dublin.
And what is it called again?
Kalamunda Hotel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Might
And
be
they
a
do really
place.
good food. Like, they do
Might be a
really good
place that I could eventually maybe cover and talk about on Nick Files or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be really good. The history is quite interesting, and there was believed in the ballroom. I can't send you the footage because it's like 30-minute long. I don't think you guys want to play 30 minutes of footage, but in the ballroom next door, there was believed to be a fire, and you literally see me, and I literally feel like I was on fire at one point. I'm sitting there with the camera, and I'm just like, yep, and I felt really hot and stuff. One of my investigators is like, are you okay? And I feel like I'm on fire. And then the red pod goes off behind me, and yeah, the building next door actually was part of the pub, and it burnt down, and then they rebuilt it, and then they built Kalamunda Hotel. So
Wow.
yeah, no
Okay,
negative stuff.
so-
What was that?
Nikki, you haven't seen that red hallway, right?
Nah. Can I say
Okay,
it?
so the only picture I have of the red hallway, I'm gonna send. Please ignore my bonus son, Jan's son, acting a fool.
Yep.
Just concentrate on the back corner. That's the only picture I have because he was acting silly because I was working and he was trying to get my attention, poor kid.
Gotta love it when they do that.
Oh, he's amazing. I love that boy. He's my second son.
No.
Okay, there we go. Jeremy, I sent it to you.
Oh, hi there, Angela. I've got a new viewer here.
Hi.
Hello.
But but talk about Kalamata, it's never negative, it's always positive. Even though
Yeah, I don't feel anything negative in that hallway. Ever.
It certainly is. I would say it's a strange feeling, but it's not
Mhm.
negative.
Mhm.
no,
Yeah, I don't think I've ever came across a place as red as I've seen. Yep, there it is. There it is.
Yeah, ignore the kid trying to make his pajamas look like a dress.
can you zoom in, Jeremy?
you
That's
doing?
okay. Is it on the left?
I don't know. It's as far as people tell me, it's in the back. Straight behind him is the end of the wall, and then it goes left
Sorry, I'm zooming in.
to my room.
Yeah, because this here is where I always stay in.
Yep. Can you zoom in just a little? Ignore his face.
Adrian, actually, I was going to say
Pardon me.
he's standing right next to a door. Isn't that the room that I stayed in on the right?
Yeah.
No, that's the one that Scott and Tammy stayed in. The room that you stayed in, Nick, is behind the person who took this picture.
Okay.
Yeah, I was standing in that room. It's in my office now, and he was telling me he was being silly, so I took
Oh, yeah.
a picture.
Robert says on the left near the door.
Okay.
Left near the door.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so on the left there, okay, see where that place is where the wallpaper is all gone?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the stairs going down.
Okay. Yep.
Going downstairs. Now there's that little hallway to where his elbow is a room where he sees people in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
Behind
What's on the
his
floor?
arm there is where Jeremy stays.
Yep.
And then there's a mirror
What's on the
back
floor?
there. Before that mirror was there, somebody said there's a portal there. And then my bedroom is right next to that mirror on the other side.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
You turn the corner and that's my room.
Were you
Then
asking something, Nikki? I thought I heard you say.
his bathroom.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Were you asking something, Nikki? I thought I heard you say something.
And then over
Oh, jeez.
here,
Sorry, I'm just zooming in.
like
Oh,
the
okay.
closet.
Yeah, that's a linen closet right there.
Okay. Cool.
See, and I've often said this like the first time you showed me it, Adrian, I was kind of questioning because just the appearance of it with the red walls and stuff. Remember
Yeah.
a while back, I asked, was this like at one point a brothel? Because a lot of brothels back in those days, their common color in a lot of those places was using the color red on their walls and floors. So that's why I get kind of a brothel-like feeling just even looking at it.
We can't confirm. The house is built in 1908, and we cannot confirm how long. Which it's not. We can't. I have not done enough research.
Well, I only ask. I'm asking because even if it was built away, in the early 20th centuries, brothels still would have existed at least until I don't know when they were outlawed, but I know they still existed throughout the early 1900s.
Yeah, and when it was built in 1908, I don't know who those first owners are. Then there was another owner that only owned it for like 7 years before our family bought it, and they moved in the 1950s.
What was that?
Is it like a farm property?
It was, yes, it was at one point.
Now Robert makes a good point, and I never, I've thought about it, but I've never even said it. He thinks like kind of like a Chinese restaurant, and it kind of does have kind of like it too has kind of like a Chinese Asian type look to it too.
No Asian stuff going on here, I promise you. If anything, now the front room and Mom, while she was in she had a fall, so she was in a dementia state where she's normally normal, and she made a comment about a brothel here. And she made it, which she doesn't know for sure. It was almost like she was pulling stuff that she should not have known. And she said, because the
Else
front,
in that book.
you walk in and there's a little walkway. You can go up the stairs, you can go in the living room. There's a big area. But
Shot
there's doors
through it.
that close, wooden doors that close off the living room, and you can only go upstairs. So could it have
Jeremy,
been
where
us?
his head is on the is that a fire extinguisher thing?
Yes, yes.
Okay, above that. What's behind him in the mirror that's black on the left? I mean right. Just above the fire extinguisher. There's like a it looks like a head.
Think probably my head. Probably my head taking the picture.
Oh, okay. Yep, cool.
Sean now surprisingly says gives him a creepy feeling looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that, and I believe I've always said it from day one when we got married in this house. And I think there was more dead guests than there was live guests because this has been a family home since 1950.
Do you have pigs on site?
No, never have. Well, I mean, not since anybody we know has owned it. I think the farm land before is what is coming through because that well, nobody's ever seen that well. But if this was farmland, there had to be a well at some point.
Yep. Okay. Because I'm seeing like little piglets running around.
That
Is this
does-
like is this a well that since has been filled in, or is it just closed off, or like because you said no one's ever looked into this well or anything?
No, this was the first time we've heard of it. The spirit box said the boy fell in the well. Please help him. Please,
Oh, okay.
reach down, get him. So whoever it was, trying to help a little boy, but it was their little boy. Now I get a man that comes in here, and I've seen him twice. Once down here in the basement, and he was looking for his wife and his either unborn child or newborn child. And I could tell you what he's wearing. I could tell you what he looks like. If I seen him, I'd know who he was. And then he was gone. And then about 2 months later, he was standing behind me in my bedroom upstairs. Looked a little different, had longer, wasn't a goatee, but it was kind of a Fu Manchu type thing. And it was almost like he was saying bye. Haven't seen him again. He was a farmer, I can tell you that.
How long have you been in there?
Do what?
How long have you been in there for?
I've only
How long
lived
have you been in the home for?
here for 3 years.
Okay.
But the rest of the family has been here since 1952.
Okay. I know this is really random tattoo question. Does anyone have like a tattoo of like an eagle on the left shoulder?
Not an eagle, but there is something on the left shoulder.
That's like a marine representative.
I know how you would
Ish.
get that, but it's actually a Viking.
Okay.
Yeah.
That person's still alive, yeah?
Yep, that's my husband.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I figured that's who you're talking about.
Yep, his Viking tattoo he's got on here, it's huge. And his beard looks like an eagle.
Yep, that's the one. Yep. Does he get touched a lot?
If he did, he wouldn't admit it. He's my skeptic.
He gets touched a lot.
He rationalizes every damn thing.
I got one of those investigators.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we can, and I'm like, yeah.
I'm sure he can't rationalize if you showed him the video.
Huh?
The video from Crown Point Jail.
Yeah, he's going to rationalize that shit too.
Well, by all means, he could try.
Robert just sent me something, and Robert, that's funny because that rock is all around my property. Whether it was brought in, I don't know. I can't say that. It could have been brought in from the river. I don't know, but that is all over.
There's rock everywhere where she lives.
Yeah, and we built our pond with that rock for about the
Okay,
third time.
Yeah. I
Who's
still
in Arizona?
can't believe that little pond froze the way that it did.
I'm over it. this is now $800 on this thing. I'm over it. If it happens again, all that rock is going in that pond, and I'm burying it. I'm done.
Yeah.
No more. No more.
Yeah, I can't imagine all them fish froze to death.
Yeah, well, I mean, usually like any type of pond where you got fish, most of the time they hibernate when it's frozen. But
They did.
if it's not, I was gonna say if it's not doing the job, then yeah, all those fish are gonna freeze to death at that point.
No, every damn one of them alive, but one.
Just one?
Just one.
Wow, that's kind of an interesting result after a long cold winter.
And they're frying size at this point.
Jeez. That's never would have known.
Well, I guess if anybody's going to try goldfish, it ain't going to be me.
No, I don't do
But they are.
There is actually something I just want to bring up quickly. I just told Jeremy about this before we went live, but I don't know if you guys got the news about this. But you guys know who Carolyn Perrin is, right? You know that she's the mom of the real life family from the Conjuring movies.
No.
Okay.
Sadly,
I didn't know her name, no. But
yeah. Sadly, she passed away last night.
No.
how old was she at this point?
She was. I thought I said to Jeremy, but then I looked back and then I realized I was partially wrong. She was like 82, 83 years old. She was like 82, 83 years old.
Okay, so she lived a good life. Okay.
Yes, she did.
Or a long
Most of the family at this point, most of them live down in Georgia, so they don't live in Rhode Island anymore.
Do any of the kids still have anything to do with the property or anything?
I don't know if they really do. I know Andrea, she out of the entire family, she's the one who also goes to a lot of these paracons and speaks out again about what really. And you know, I actually do this a lot. Unlike a lot of people, I don't really call that house the Conjuring house. In fact, she doesn't call it, nor does she encourage it. That was not their intention. For me, and I think Andrea would say this, I just simply call it the Harrisville Haunted. So, but yeah, she goes to a lot of the paracons. She's been in a lot of interviews. If she has anything to do with the house at this point, I don't know if I don't think she actually has any like ownership, but I know she speaks about it a lot. So, and as for her, she's in her mid 60s now, I believe. That's how old she is today.
Sorry,
Yeah.
someone's touched me, right? Whoever's touched me, don't.
Yeah, she's the second family member of the Perrin family who's passed away. One of the daughters passed away a couple years ago. That was April, and I believe for her, she was either in her 60s or early 70s when she passed. I think she was one of the older daughters.
Oh wow.
So of course, nonetheless, I should probably still say it's probably right for us to say, our hearts definitely go out for the Perrin family. It's got to be rough.
I think any death would be rough. Yeah.
I mean, like you said, Adrian, I get she lived a good life, but it still has to be a rough time for them.
April was 52.
yeah.
What's that?
April was 52.
Wow. She was young.
Oh wait, you said you froze there on my side. You said she was 52.
Yes.
Oh, geez. Okay, so I was wrong. Yeah, she was younger than that. Yikes.
Yeah, she was 52. Died from an accidental dose of fentanyl.
Yeah, that's what it was.
A
Jeez.
fentanyl patch prescribed in connection with a surgery.
Yeah, she passed away first, and now they're moms. So there's only Roger and I think 4 daughters left.
Yeah, that fentanyl stuff. I mean, they tried
Yeah,
to give
no.
me that when I had my blood clot in my lungs. They were like, "Oh, here, no, absolutely flipping not." Oh, but it's not the same as on the streets. I don't care. No, if it gives you that kind of high, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's definitely sad.
That's kind of like an accidental death or doctor mistake death.
Yeah.
hmm
That's
when
that's
doctors
not
like
okay.
trying to be med. I'm like, no.
Yeah, that is not okay. And people wonder why more people are going holistic. Well,
Mhm.
yeah, maybe people didn't live as long back then, but we know more now. And if we use more holistic, maybe we'd live longer. I mean,
Yeah, probably.
I'm into the conspiracy of pharmaceutical stuff.
I've
I
been wondering a lot about that myself lately.
I am all about they're trying to get us to do things that we don't need to be doing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Last
because it does not help when there is one single prescription that's a 90-day supply that costs $2,200.
yeah.
Beg your pardon?
$1,800 for one bottle
Holy.
of insulin.
I just
Touch
realized.
me.
Yeah, I just realized
What?
last time I saw Andrea, that was at the Michigan Paracon 2 years ago. She was with her dad Roger. That was the first time I got to meet one of the other parent family members. But since then, that was the only those are the only two members of the family that I got to meet. Sean, I'm talking about Carolyn Perrin, the mother of the real life family from The Conjuring. So sadly, she passed away last night.
So is Andrea? I'm assuming Andrea is really kind of the only one you know better than anyone else.
Oh, yeah, she knows who I am now, and I got to admit, when you actually meet her, she's like one of the sweetest people you could ever meet. She's great to chat with, and it's interesting. Even over 50 years after this whole thing occurred at that house in Harrisville, Rhode Island, she still gets very, very emotional of what they went through. There's not been a time where we've seen her speak at, because she sometimes comes to Parasite Con, although she didn't go this year. But there's not been a time where she's spoken at these events and she doesn't get emotional over it.
How is she doing now? I mean, like, does she have any lasting effects? Is she, besides the emotional part?
I think she does in some way. I don't know if Tom's still watching. Tom would also kind of help me out with this, but I honestly think she does. I think they still have some kind of connection with that house, because even though there were a lot of bad things that occur, it's not like, of course, what you see in the movie, obviously.
Right.
They're as bad. Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, Sandra is the only one that can talk, that can out-talk me. Yeah, that's true. But
Okay, on the subject of out talking Nick,
but no, like,
I have had a friend. He passed away a couple years ago now, but there's this guy. His name is Tim Fry, and we bowled together in nationals for 20 some years before his health finally got to where he couldn't bowl anymore. He speaks. Let's put it this way. You can take a Stephen King book, a 1,000 Stephen King book, and he can say more words in a day than that book has. He was one of those guys where you just couldn't get a word in edgewise. And it's not that he was like a know-it-all or anything like that. It's just he just really enjoyed talking to people. And now his daughter bowls in my group, and she has somewhat picked up on that ability.
wow.
Not quite to the extent that he did, but she's getting there.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, but to answer more of your question, Adrian, is that, I mean, it's not like what you see it all in the movie. Like, yeah, there were a lot of bad things that occur in that house, but there actually were a lot of good things too. And they've even said when they finally had the chance of moving out of that house, because most people don't realize they didn't just, it's not, again, not like what you see in the film, but they lived there for over 10 years. They moved there in 1971. They didn't move out until 1981. So by the time that they moved out, I mean, Andrea had already moved out at a young age. I think she was only like 16 or 17 when she moved out. But, would occasionally go back, if I'm saying it correctly. But when they officially moved out, they actually kind of missed that house. It was kind of a sad moment for them. It wasn't necessarily memories. They just had this big connection. And now it was kind of being broken apart. It was devastating for them.
Well, sure, everybody misses home wherever they lived.
Well, because it's like there were bad spirits there, but there were also friendly ones that actually at times were protective of them. So they kind of formed a bond with some of these spirits at the house. And it was heartbreaking to see it go. In fact, I've done an episode of that real life location on Nick Files. If you watch the slideshow from that, it has pretty much all the information I was able to find about how what they really went through. And Tom just said, she said if she could afford it, she would buy it again.
Aw. Did they ever get rid of all the bad spirits that were there or no?
I don't know if they got rid of exactly all of them, because first of all, most people don't realize too, if they show this in the Paranormal Witness episode, that whole thing that went through Carolyn, who was supposedly possessed, that was in fact actually filmed using cameras that Ed Lorraine Warren had used. Unfortunately, now some people ask saying, well, why didn't they show the footage? Unfortunately, the footage was destroyed during that time when they were trying to have this exorcism or whatever it was. And that's also when Roger threw him out of the house. So, because it went terribly. So, but I don't know if they ever got rid of everybody. And contrary to popular belief, even Andrea has said it herself. The whole scenario with Bathsheba, like as we see in the movie, like she was the main antagonist. I think we're now starting to realize that she wasn't. Yeah, she had some sinister qualities, but she may have not actually had bad, as we all thought. Like there is no evidence to actually point out to claim that she was actually an evil witch in life. She may, in fact, the murder charge that supposedly she had, she may have actually been wrongfully convicted of it. It could have been somebody else that could have committed that murder on that baby 200 years ago. Well, almost 140 years ago.
Okay, we are coming up to 10 o'clock now. Victor Mystery is getting ready to come on.
Yep.
So with that, we are going to have to say bye-bye to this week.
Bye-bye.
Still no guests for next week, huh?
No, at this point, I'm not really worried about it. I've got my attention focused on so many different things. I'm not even worried about guests here. I'm not even 100% sure I'll be doing this show 2 weeks from tonight, because I'll be wanting to go to bed real early that night, because I'll be leaving the next morning.
How long are you going to be gone again for?
Leaving the 28th and coming back on the 8th.
Okay.
Give or take.
All righty.
Yeah.
Well, Nikki, thanks for coming on. I'll definitely say that. And thanks for showing the
No
stuff.
worries, anytime.
Video.
Anytime. I'm happy to join whenever you like. Quick question. Have you guys ever heard of the Peak House in Rye, New York?
The what?
No.
Pig House?
Peak House in Rye, New York. Battle Watch
maybe
documentary.
I have, actually. Maybe I have. That does sound familiar now that you said that. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah. Just Battle Watch documentary.
Adrian, I'll send that footage sometime either later tonight or tomorrow with you.
Do that and your email.
Yes. I'll email it to you.
How? Do you have my email?
I was going to say I am going to need your email, but if I can email it then.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I will send that to you tonight.
Okay. Sounds like a good plan.
All righty. So as plans are made, everybody out there, thank you so much for playing along with us. We will see you all next week. Have a good night, everybody.
Not everyone.
No.